charged with domestic battery in Marion County, Indiana, don't risk a violation because any violation is going to have a snowballing effect. What do I mean by that? If you're charged with domestic battery here in Marion County, one of the things that's going to happen is once you're released from custody, you're going to have your initial hearing. At that initial hearing, a judge is going to serve you some paperwork. It's called a no contact order. And a no contact order is going to prohibit you from talking or having any communication through yourself to the alleged victim in the case and any potential witnesses to the case. Now, by that, most cases of domestic battery result in husband and wife or partners or anything to that effect. They get in an argument and one calls the cops on the other. The neighbors might call the cops because they hear a loud argument. Maybe they hear a loud noise and it scares the neighbors. So the neighbors call the cop for a wellness check. Cops show up. One thing leads to another. Somebody ends up in jail. In that circumstance, at that initial hearing, let's say there were kids asleep. There are kids in the garage. They're in the backyard. The basement doesn't matter. They didn't have to see it. But if there are kids around, the kids are likely going to be included on the no contact order as well. Now, and I mentioned earlier a little bit about any type of contact. That is direct or indirect contact. What do I mean by that? That means if you have a no contact order protecting someone else against you, you cannot call them. You cannot text them. You cannot rent an airplane and have that airplane drag a sign across the back and fly it over her house or his house with a message. You can't write it on a cave. You can't deep sea dive and write it and leave her a note. There's nothing that you can do to contact that person. The only person on your behalf that can contact a protected party is your attorney. You can't have a family member reach out, check in on how things are going. You cannot do that. So the most important thing, if you're charged with domestic battery here in Indianapolis, you have to get an experienced attorney on your side who understands how the system here in Marion County operates. Why? Because the first thing that we're going to want to do is try to figure out why the no contact order was put in place. Oftentimes, the protected party doesn't ask for the no contact order. It's the state of Indiana that says, hey, we believe a no contact order is appropriate here because of the charges. Judge says, yeah, that makes sense. Domestic battery, no contact order. But oftentimes, that does not take into account the position of the person that's supposed to be protected, whether that be your husband, your wife, your partner, boyfriend, girlfriend, doesn't matter. Oftentimes their input is not taken into consideration, but it's still granted anyway. Well, that's not fair. Of course it's not fair. The system's not set up to be fair right away. It's set up to make sure everybody is safe right away. Now, a good experienced attorney is going to know how to fight these no contact orders, going to know how to kind of work their way to try to get those no contact orders eliminated, to try to get you back to as close to normal of a life that you were living before these charges came about. And then while the case is going, we will likely have you do some sort of classwork, whether that be anger management or something to that effect, to again make you look like $1,000,000. Not an admission of guilt by doing these by any means. It shows you take it seriously. And that's what you need. You need an attorney, one, who's going to guide you down the path of success, and two, help navigate the difficult waters that can be domestic battery cases because these no contact orders. Because a violation of a no contact order is not only a violation of bond, which can have you held in custody on that case, it's also a new criminal charge for invasion of privacy. And all of a sudden, you make a jail call, it's another new case, and you can see a snowball and snowball and snowball to where it just becomes almost insurmountable. So if you're charged with domestic battery here in Indianapolis, you need someone on your side who's going to fight for you and get what you deserve. So give us a call, 317-632-3642. Remember, always plead the fifth.